An old unused bell hung in the room. Suddenly, it began to swing. Soon, it rang out loudly. So did every bell in the house. This lasted half a minute, but it seemed an hour. The bells stopped as they had begun, together. Then there was a clanking noise deep down below. It sounded like someone was dragging a heavy chain over the casks in the wine merchant's cellar below. Then he heard the cellar door fly open. This was followed by a much louder sound. It started on the floors below before coming up the stairs. Now it was coming straight towards his door. "It's humbug still," said Scrooge. "I won't believe it." His colour changed, though, when the heavy door opened. Something passed into the room before his eyes. It was Marley's ghost. Marley in his usual clothes. A long chain made of cash boxes, keys and padlocks wound about him like a tail. Was this really Marley? Scrooge saw him standing there before him, but did not want to believe his eyes. "What do you want with me?" said Scrooge. "Much." It was Marley's voice, no doubt about it. "Who are you?" "Ask me who I was." "Who were you then?" said Scrooge, raising his voice. "In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley." "You don't believe in me," said the ghost. "I don't," said Scrooge. "Humbug." The spirit shook its chain and made a terrible noise. Scrooge held on tight to his chair. To his horror, the ghost was taking off the bandage round its head. Scrooge fell upon his knees and held his hands before his face. "Why do you trouble me?" "Do you believe in me or not?" replied the ghost. "I do," said Scrooge. "I must. But why are you in chains?" "It was like this 7 Christmas Eves ago." "Jacob," said Scrooge, "tell me more. Speak comfort to me, Jacob." "I have none to give," the ghost replied. I cannot stay anywhere. I must walk the earth." "7 years dead," said Scrooge, "and travelling all the time?" "The whole time," said the ghost. "No rest, no peace." "But you were always a good man of business, Jacob," said Scrooge. "Business," cried the ghost. "Mankind was my business. Mercy was my business." Scrooge was unhappy to hear the spirit talking like this. He shivered and wiped the perspiration from his brow. "Hear me," cried the ghost. "My time is nearly gone." "I will," said Scrooge, "but don't be hard upon me, Jacob." "I am here tonight to warn you," said the ghost. "You still have a chance and hope of escaping my fate." "You will be haunted," resumed the ghost, "by 3 spirits." Scrooge's face fell. "I think I'd rather not," said Scrooge. "Without their visits," said the ghost, "you cannot avoid the path I tread. Expect the first spirit tomorrow, when the clock strikes 1. "Couldn't I take them all at once, Jacob?" said Scrooge. "Expect the second on the next night at the same hour. The third will come the next night on the last stroke of 12. And remember what has passed between us." The spirit took its bandage from the table. It bound it round its head as before. Then it walked backward from him. At every step it took, the window raised itself a little until it was wide open. A terrible wailing sound began. The spirit, after listening for a moment, floated out onto the dark night. Scrooge went to the window and looked out. The air was filled with spirits. Every one of them wore chains like Marley's ghost. Eventually, the spirit voices faded together. The night became as it had been. Scrooge closed the window. He examined the door by which the ghost had entered. It was double locked, as he had locked it with his own hands. The bolts were undisturbed. He tried to say "humbug," but stopped. Instead, he went straight to bed without undressing